Hey everyone, welcome to Dynamic Sport Adventures. Today we want to talk about our baseplate compasses. So this is part of our wilderness navigation course, and we use our baseplate compasses when we're working with maps. Here are two different baseplate compasses. This one having a cover and a mirror for sighting, and this one just being a basic flat see-through baseplate compass. They both have an azimuth ring around it that goes from 0 to 360. This one glows in the dark. This one does too. This has a brighter green to it and black with white lettering. This is white with black lettering. The back of both of these have these little set screws to set the declination for the area that you're going to be traveling, hiking, backpacking in. If you noticed, these are both set to north. You're always going to be reading the bearing up here. And if you notice on this one that it's set north, but the actual box is to the left, the red box is to the left of north, where this one is aligned straight up and down with north. This one has been set for 14 degrees west declination, in other words, to the left of north, according to this compass, the way it is. And this one out of the box, the declination hasn't been set yet. So again, we're always going to read our bearings at the top here. The line of travel arrows are always going to be up here. And we call this a shed because it actually looks like there's two walls with a roof on it. So we want to box or red in the shed. In other words, the red needle is going to be in the shed or in the box. So we call it boxing the needle. Red in the shed, or I like to call it red Fred in the shed. When we're reading our bearings, again, we're always going to read at the top. I'll use this compass for the rest of the demonstration. So if we want to take a bearing that way and we're pointing that way, we're going to do the ABC. So we aligned ourselves. And because the red needle is not boxed, or red Fred in the shed is not boxed, we're going to turn our azimuth ring or basal ring until that needle is boxed inside that red shed. In other words, red Fred in the shed. Once we do that, we read the bearing at the top here, which looks to be about 326 or 328 degrees. And that's going to be our bearing. So we've aligned ourselves. We turned our basal ring or our azimuth ring until the needle lined up in the shed, red Fred in the shed. And now we're going to read our bearing here. And that's going to be our course, aligned bearing course. If we know a destination we want to travel, let's say we want to travel east, we're going to turn the basal or azimuth ring to east, reading the bearing at the top of here, which east is 90 degrees. And now we need to turn our body holding the compass level until red Fred in the shed. And now that direction there, we pick something out in the distance that is aligned and that bearing. And whatever we pick, a tree, a boulder, a structure out that far, that is our bearing and that is our course. So we've aligned ourselves, we set it to east, that's our bearing, and that's our course. So we're going to be going over this in class numerous times. Don't overthink it. The practice makes perfect. Try to practice these things at home. And for the most part, you need to get outdoors. Thanks for watching.